Nintendo Switch is the plucky little handheld hybrid that could. Every Switch comes with a pair of Joy-Con, those teeny little controllers you can slide off the side of the console. They're convenient, sure, and they get the job done really well, provided they haven't succumbed to the dreaded Joy-Con drift. But as convenient as Joy-Con are, they just don't feel right for a lot of games. Thankfully, controller companies appreciate and acknowledge this and offer up their own more traditional takes on the video game controller. We've got 3 of them right here, right now. The Horipad Nintendo Switch wired controller, the 8-bit Do, I looked it up, Pro, and the PowerA Fusion Pro. So, which one is right for you? Have third-party controllers improved since that Mad Catz N64 controller your grandma got you for Christmas in 1999? Oh, Granny. Oh, Granny. Now is the time to find out. I'm Seth, and I'll be showing you the ins and outs of these Nintendo Switch controllers in today's Budget to Best. This little fellow right here is the Horipad Nintendo Switch wired controller, and stop right there. I already know what you're thinking. A wired controller in these times? Well, yes, actually. The Horipad wired controller has a manufacturer's suggested retail price of $24.99, but you can almost always find it on sale or at least somewhat reduced in price. And on top of a very appealing price point, it is officially licensed by Nintendo, so it has a nice, reassuring Nintendo Switch logo on it. It's also available in red, blue, or black, which is nice. I wish you could get them with cool Nintendo-inspired graphics, but for whatever reason, the Horipad wired controller is only available in basic colors. If you want some flair, you either need to upgrade to a wireless Horipad or pick up one of the more kid-friendly Horipad minis. As far as functionality goes, the Horipad does everything you need it to do and even offers turbo. Man, I haven't seen a controller with turbo since the 1990s, when it was basically a required function for any third-party controller. It also has a little D-pad cover you can pop off and store right here on the back, giving you access to the 4 directional buttons you might be used to on the Joy-Con controllers. It's got a nice feel to it, but it doesn't have the same heft you find on Nintendo's own Pro controller. And the removable D-pad is a nice touch, but not really a fan of its implementation. That being said, if you need an extra controller or 2 for some couch co-op Mario Party or Mario Kart 8 action, it's really hard to beat for the price, and it doesn't feel like you're being penalized by using it. From wired to wireless, this right here is the 8-bit Do Pro 2 Bluetooth controller, and let me tell you something. I really like this controller. It has an MSRP of $59.99, but I promise you, if you go searching for it on Amazon right now, it's probably going to be listed at $49.99, and honestly, I've seen it on sale for even lower. You can get it in one of 3 different designs too. The one I'm holding is the kind of boringly named Gray Edition. There's also a Black Edition and a Classic Edition if you prefer, but whichever one you decide on, know this. There's a secret hiding inside of every 8-bit Do Pro 2 controller. Okay, it's not really a secret at all. In fact, it's listed right there on the Amazon title. Not only is this a great Nintendo Switch controller, but it works with your PC, your Mac, Steam, Android phone. It even works with a Raspberry Pi in case you want to load one of those up with emulators and never shut the up about it. I wrote that headline, by the way. You can easily remap buttons with the 8-bit Do Ultimate app, as well as change settings like vibration intensity, analog stick sensitivity, and dead zone adjustments, and even program your own macros. Oh man, I love a macro. There's also a nicely placed set of back buttons you can program to do whatever you want them to. On top of all of that, it looks and feels really nice. The triggers have a nice springiness, much better than the Horipad's clickiness. Oh, and the D-pad? Ooh. This is top shelf. Absolutely nailed the D-pad. Shout out to 8-bit Do's D-pad engineer. Nice work, whoever you are. I'd like to shake your hand. Now we're playing with PowerA. Specifically, the PowerA Fusion Pro, which is about as close to an Xbox Elite controller as you can find for the Nintendo Switch. While it doesn't quite hit those highs set by the aforementioned Xbox controller, as far as Switch third-party controllers go, this is really nice. It's a bit pricey, coming in at $100, but for the price, you get a nice case you'll never use, maybe the longest pack-in USB-C cable I've ever seen, and a really solid wireless controller with some great customization options. Oh, and like most third-party controllers, you can probably find it for less than its MSRP if you spend 1 to 2 seconds searching retailers. The most obvious similarity between the Fusion Pro and the Elite controller are the weird little lever-style buttons on the back. These are mappable to whatever you want to use them for, and their placement is quite nice. Build quality is another big win for the Fusion Pro. This absolutely feels like a high-end controller. It's got a tactile, rubber, non-slip grip to keep it in your hands with a lovely, soft touch on the face. It has exactly the heft about it you'd expect from a high-quality controller. What I really appreciate about the Fusion Pro's back button is how easy it is to just pop it off. They're completely optional and completely removable, so when I didn't want to use them and didn't want to bump into them constantly, I just took them out, dropped the attachment into the case so I wouldn't lose it, and went on with my life. The Fusion Pro has some shortcomings, as is the case with pretty much all the controllers out there, but there's no real deal breaker. And if you're looking for an alternative to the first-party Nintendo Switch Pro controller, it's a great choice. Whether you're looking for a few low-cost controllers for game nights or need something with customizable features to help give you an edge, these 3 options cover off on all the bases for your Nintendo Switch controlling needs. Here are the Horipad, 8-Bit Do Pro 2, and PowerA Fusion Pro side by side. Now, I want to know, what do you think? If you're already running one of these options, hit us up in the comments. I read them. I swear I do. Ask anybody, they'll tell you. If you have any other suggestions or you just want to say first, drop a comment about your own choice for Nintendo Switch controllers. Thanks for watching Budget to Best, and I will see you when I see you.